Hi everyone, this is Natalie from PaperFlora. I wanted to take this opportunity to make a short video for you so you can see how I make the flowers from beginning to end. At the end of the video, I'm also going to have a couple of extra tips on how to make some different kinds of centers so all your flowers don't look exactly the same. So the question I get asked the most is what kind of paper do I use? And this is one type of paper. It's from your local craft store. I always use something at least 65 pounds, which is a way they measure the paper when it's in a big roll, and that's how they measure it. If the roll is so thick, the paper's on it so thick that it weighs more, then that's the weight, and that's what this is right here, 65 pounds. So I'm going to make a center, I'm going to make a flower, show you how I do it from beginning to end, and give you a couple of tips hopefully that you can use to create your own. One thing I just want to stress, I do it in all my classes and when I'm talking to people, is don't be afraid of doing something wrong. The flowers are organic, they're natural looking, and the more you tweak it as you get better and better, the more they become more alive, is what I like to look at them. And they have different dimensions, they take on different characters. So don't be afraid. So let's get started. I am working with a brand new template that I'm going to have in the shop, PaperFlora.com, and you can download it and purchase it and download it from that site. So this is the new one that I'm using, so I'm going to go through it step by step in real time, so you'll see what it's like. So I have all my paper cut out template. I have A, B, C, D, E, and F, which is what you're going to use for an extra large flower. And what you do is you bend the ends of your petals. I do the outside petals. I usually do bend one forward and one backwards. And as the petals get smaller, I start to bend them more and more closely. I'll show you what that's like. So, different ways to bend them. You can do it on the edge of a table. Bend them out. You can do it with your hand. You can start rolling. Something this small will get you a smaller curl, but you can curl up. You can use a rolling pin. You can use anything that gets the dimension that you want. So I'm going to go through. What I do is I cut out all the petals, then I go through and I do all of the bending. So I'm going to do all of the A, these are all of the B's, and it goes all the way down. And as you can see, as I get smaller, I'm no longer bending one forward and one backwards. I'm bending them both up so that they're more of a cup, all the way down to the smallest size, which is this one right here. I work in an assembly line, so I'll cut them all, I'll bend them all, then I'll go through and I'll cut the bottom, which is the line that you're going to get your dimension. So these are all cut already. Same thing with the next size. And again, don't be afraid, you can't make a mistake, it's just paper. And at this weight, you can do pretty, 3 or 4 at a time. And this is the smallest one. And both sides are being bent up. I may bend them even more so they're more like a bud, but I do that once I get to this size. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to lift over and glue the strap, the slit, so that you're getting the dimension of the form. The more you bend over, and the higher your flower is going to sit up. If you're doing a wall, you want a lot of dimension, you might want some higher, some lower. I never go quite that high because I like them to lie a little flatter. So the bigger the leaves on the outside, I just take them a little bit. See how it's growing? Maybe you can see it like this. So what I do is I put a bead of glue right about there. So I'm going to do all of those. I usually use one of these finger protectors. Again, you can get them at Michael's or Hobby Lobby or wherever you shop, because I have burnt my fingers a few times, but this really helps. So that's all the big petal. And I'm going to do the same thing for the next size. I'm going to do about the same curl because they are the bigger petals and they're going to be rather snug. The next size. On your template, you're going to have a cut line, which is the solid line, and you're going to have the dotted line, which is a where you pull the slot over to glue, and that is just a suggestion. You don't have to do it exactly that way. You may not want your flowers to cup that much, but I've had people ask, how far do I go over? So that dotted line is just a suggestion. As all these, the way I'm doing it is just I do. This is the what I usually do. So I'm showing you, but please feel free to make adjustments if you want a different look. And I will show you that too at the end, where I do have two styles of the same flower that I'm going to show you that just by bending the petals left and right or up and back, you can use the same template but get a different looking flower. These I'm going over a little bit more because I want more cups. I want them to be a tighter bloom in the middle, so they are going over a little bit. So I'm going over just a tad more, so it will sit up just a little bit more. This is the most time-consuming part. Well, cutting the petals out is the most time-consuming, which if you're going to do a large wall, if you're going to do some a bigger display, give yourself enough time to get all that paper cut out. Then I think this prep time is the most, is time-consuming also, and actually putting them together once you've got this all done is the fun end part that's a lot easier. Now I'm going to I have quite a few of these little the smallest size, but I'm going to just do a few because I don't really know exactly what the flower is going to look like once I get it going, because like I said, they do have a kind of a life of their own, and they become their own bloom and kind of tell me what they want to look like. So I'm going to do 3 right now, and we'll see what it's like. Now, this is an extra large bloom. I'm going to clean up this glue so I can have a little bit more room. I'm going to do an extra large so you can tell exactly how I do it. Now, I'm going to use what you get on your template, which is an extra large circle. And what I do here is I'm going to apply, oops, sorry about that. It gets awfully stringy. What I do is I apply a large bead of glue, and I take it to where that one seam is, and that's how I judge how far the petal is going to be up. That way I have uniformity and the flowers don't start getting bigger on one side or the other. So let me do that again. I'm going to glue. And what I do also is I tuck it behind. See how I tucked it behind here? And again, I use that dot on the fold line to judge where I'm going to put my circle. I'm sorry, where I'm going to put my petal on my circle. And again, I went underneath. And then sometimes I'll go on top. And I use that point. I'm going to go on top again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one I'm going to go underneath. That's the bottom, and that's your first layer of your largest petal. Now I'm going to go back. Now I'm going to go through and do the next size all the way until I get to the middle bud. You may not use all the petals that you have cut out. Kind of depends. Sometimes you use them all, sometimes I don't. Just kind of depends on where they're going to fall. This time I happen to be using all of them. And as you put each layer in, they're going to get closer in the middle, so you're not going to have that much room in the bottom of the circle. So, which means your petals are going to start touching, which is fine. That's what they're supposed to do. next layer. With this blue, you really see these strings of glue, but you can clean that up after. So here I'm going to use like maybe 4. And this is the second to the last layer where you're getting that cup. This is where I started folding both in so that you're getting more of that bud look. And I think I will probably use maybe, I think I'll use 4. That last one's going to be snug, but it's going to still look really nice. Now for the last layer, row, the center row, I'm going to really fold these in so that they're much more bud looking. That's why I'm going to use the wooden spoon and bring them in so that they're a lot more closed and look more like a center bud. I take it all the way down. So that's 1, 2, 3 of the small ones. Now you can fold these up even closer if you wanted a tighter bud. Or I'm going to show you a few of the different centers that you can make also. So it sits up. So you could put different sizes underneath it. It's going to be the largest, the extra large. A couple of the other centers that I've included in a few of the other templates is this is just one particular size, but it's this the petal gets smaller and smaller. You have those in some of the templates come with this type of center. And this is what I do here is I take either a paintbrush. I like it because it goes from thicker to thinner. This is thinner than that. And it gives a nice roll. Then I might use, if I really want to get the roll in. And then with the bigger one, I use a thicker paintbrush. You can use a glue stick, you can use a pencil. I've just found that these paintbrushes really work nicely. Then you're going to fold it up on itself. Just at the bottom. These come in real handy just to keep that down. Then you're going to fold the next size up. You can add a little dab of glue all the way around if you want to keep it really tight. I'm just using this one for example so you can see, then you can put that right down in the middle. So that's one type. There's different templates with different types of petals. This is a new style also. So that's how you do that one. Now, a lot of them have just the fringe center, which is like the pom-pom center. And that one is really easy to do also. There's a little trick, is that you fold your paper in half. And you cut the fringe. Just make sure you don't go all the way to the bottom. I like to use these. These are, I think they're Martha Stewart scissors. They're called fringe scissors. Just makes it go a little quicker. Now here's the trick on this one. Is you turn it, open it up, and turn it inside out. And then you start rolling. Roll and glue. I roll it first all the way because I just like to, I like the paper to actually know that it's going to be rolling so it doesn't fight me. It has a tendency to cone like that. Just push it back down. You can either add glue as you're rolling, be careful. And then make sure you push down to make a pom-pom out. Then when you apply it, you're going to put a whole lot of glue like that, and then just put it right in the middle of your flower. So those are the different centers. Like I said, there's, oh, you know what I want to show you too, is that things like, you can get a different look. Like this flower is your scarlet flower, the scarlet template. And the difference, what I did here was, instead of folding all the flower, all the petals out, I just made the difference of putting the ones that are in the middle in, which made it look, you have just the same template, but a different type, a different style, a different look to your petals. So don't be afraid to change your petal shapes. Don't be afraid to try different things. Like I said, these are some new centers that I have. I think I'll be making those available by themselves, so you can add them to the templates you may already have. And that's it. I hope you've enjoyed this. Please stop by the shop and see what's new. And thank you very much.